Hello and welcome to the start of a brand new series here on Sky Sports. It's the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Best players from all around the world here taking part in the men's championship, a women's event and a team event as well. And that's where we're going to start with a team event between England and Ireland. England, the defending champions. This is in fact the 16th year of this championship. With me here in the studio, Keith Brewer has been involved right from the start as a player and a commentator. Keith, this has come a long way, hasn't it, from humble beginnings to an established event on the calendar?
It certainly has, apart from the fact it is the World Championships, you know. There's many big events on the calendar, but this is the biggest one of all. And
everyone wants to be here and taking part, whether it's the team event or the individual event?
Yeah, there's a lot of prestige there, and you know, there's a lot of competition to get into the team places.
Right, let's have a look then at the two teams, because it's, as I said, England against Ireland, and these are the two sides. Very experienced players on both sides, but would you say maybe in experience terms England have got the edge? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think when you look at the England team there, it's just full of talent, isn't it? And experience too, which is going to be crucial in a match like this, David.
But in fact, 2 years ago, Ireland did beat England in this same situation, didn't they?
They beat England actually in the semi-final. Which was a bit of a shock result at the time, and also remember that Ireland have already beaten England in the round-robin stage of this event.
There's nothing they like better than to beat England on their home territory.
That's right, there's a lot of rivalry here, David. It'll be a great match.
And we can hear already there's a terrific atmosphere here as the players come around and meet Joe Panto, the president of the World Body. I mean, this is a terrific event, isn't it? Great atmosphere, a lot of feeling going into this match.
I think the team one's always a little bit special. It's really, you know, mostly we have single events, but to have a team event like this, World Championships, there's a lot of atmosphere, and I'm sure it'll be a cracker today.
Thank you very much indeed, Keith. Let's now go to commentary, shall we? Sean Baker, Alec Avrianadis and Jim White.
The formidable side that is England, 11-time champions in the World Team event here. Well, from the Imperial Hotel in Blackpool, a historic hotel and history in the making. Every year this event sets out. The lag, Jason Twist on the left and Stephen Dempsey on the right. Ireland versus England for the team event. Sean Baker, Alec Avrianadis. Alec, you're the captain of the Australian side. You've traveled a long ways coming from down under, and teams come from India, South Africa, and I mean, what does it mean to players that make that sort of trek, this world title?
Well, obviously, Jim, it's just a lot of work that's been put in at home to represent our countries, and then of course the expense and the time that it takes to get here. So it's just a lot of hard work.
Frame number one, the race to 8, Jason Twist. Two-time world singles champion. In fact, you've got 6 world singles titles on the English side. That's what Ireland's up against. But as has been noted in the studio, Ireland has beat England before in the semi-finals back in 2006, the year that they won it. So, Sean, they know it can be done.
Yes, they do, Jim. And in fact, I think Ireland have got a lot stronger side now. If you look down this side, you've got a couple of players who've come in since that victory in 2006, Declan and Barry Huff, the twins. Barry got through to the last 16 in last year's event where he was edged out by Phil Harrison. Steve Dempsey here, European champion 2007, come to the fore. Shane O'Hara, another one of the youngsters who've come through the ranks, and Patrick Morehouse as well. So this is an extremely strong Ireland side.
Yeah, and Alec, we were talking just prior to the outset here, a very young and an aggressive side. You give them a big chance in this. Yeah,
most certainly. I mean, obviously they've got to get in front early and put some pressure on the England boys, but they are really keen. They're really fired up, and they've had a great tournament all week, and I can't see why they're not a chance, Jim.
So important to get a good start. Anxious faces. Oh, that's a little bit of a miss.
Red ball's in play.
Just the early nerves. England's so accustomed to being in this final. But that's not what the Irish side looking on. That won't keep Irish eyes smiling.
No, it's the one thing that Ireland haven't got. They've got all this youth, they've got this strong side, but they haven't got the experience of the TV. I think Steve Dempsey's had one appearance, I think was probably in that side in 2006. but not, and Derek Smythe as well. He was in that side, but not too many of them will have appeared on the TV in the TV arena at these championships before. Whereas you look at that England side across there, then you say Jason Twist is at the table. You got two-time world champion Chris Melling, two-time world champion Gareth Potts. You know, Adam Davis, International Masters winner 2006. They've all got big TV experience.
Jason with a 63, just better than a 63% winning ratio in his play during the team event. It's been going on for some time here. Both teams, England actually beat Malta 11-6 in the semi-finals, and the same scoreline brought Ireland through to the finals here, beating Wales 11-6.
Jim, when you look at their 60, you're saying that Jason Twist had a 63% winning, but I reckon it's more like 80% when you talk finals. All them English boys, they just rarely lose in finals, don't they?
Yeah, when these guys get to the business end of an event, they know how to close. Adam Davis, that was just him near camera. He's a deaf budding young star, definitely a future world champion, that young man. Gareth Potts, just second from the end on the left.
There's Lee Clough there, who's a semi-finalist in the individual event 2007 here in Blackpool. A little bit of a surprise package when he got through, but I think everybody knows the name now.
To take the first frame. And the 8 goes down. The tornado takes England to the early lead. It's 1-0. The race to 8 has begun. And the high fives will be flying here in Blackpool. 1-0 to England.
Second frame. Ireland to break. Trailing 1 frame to 0.
And Ireland, Shane O'Hara now to break frame number 2. The captain of the Irish side. From the middle of the table, trying to control that white and park a color to the bottom of a corner or a middle pocket.
And you see there, he's just trying to will a ball in, but he's not made it. And Alec, the break is so important in this game, isn't it? You know, making a ball, particularly on the TV table.
Oh, most certainly. I mean, getting the first balls in and getting the best balls, best options on the table. You know, we see Jason Twist there with his first chance, and he's finished the frame. Here's another chance for England, and all right, he may not pot out, but certainly going to line the control up, and I mean, he does have the opportunity to finish the frame here, Sean.
Yeah, I think we saw that it was just probably one just slightly awkward red at the bottom of the table. We see now there just below the black. It will just need to be developed. Other than that, everything else is in the open here. For the tower from Blackpool, Lee Clough.
England was pushed right to the limit in last year's final. Finally scraping over the finish line, 8-7 over Wales. They'd like this one to be a little bit more clear-cut in their favor.
Yeah, I think if I remember rightly, Jim, they started very strongly. They took an early, maybe, I think it was a 2-0 lead. But Wales came right back at them. At the halfway stage. And remember rightly again, the Welsh captain Wayne Smith loaded all his big guns at the top of the second half, trying to force the victory. And it didn't work out for him.
Yes, actually England went 3-1 ahead of Wales early last year, but Wales came back at them very strong to lead 4-3 after the first session. So England was definitely pushed, but they've got so much character on their side. Just happen to have last year's score sheet here.
We saw there on that previous shot, Lee Clough has developed that awkward red. Perhaps just finished a little bit short there on position. Want to be just a little bit higher. As he pots this red, he's going to have to just take the cue ball away from the black here, Alex, so that he doesn't move that into a more awkward position.
Well, Sean, I don't think he can miss the black there. He may nick off it, but he's still got that red over the centre pocket as a backup ball. He gets the white anywhere on the table, he can then work his way to his last red. So I don't think he'll be upset if he knocks the black over to the side rail or anything, as long as he just controls the white and doesn't lose it too far.
Well, he's bumped the 8 where it's still available, but it's going to be an important positional shot here from the penultimate red. You know, looking at Lee Clough and looking at last year's lineup that didn't boast players like Chris Melling. You know, imagine adding him to the lineup, and how much stronger does that make your side, two-time world champion?
Yeah, Chris made a conscious decision after last year's championships that he was going to try and qualify again for the England men's team. We see him there in the middle. And he did that, went to the trials at the national trials at Great Yarmouth in March, then had to force his way through the internal trials once the squad had been selected for this event. I think there's only 2 places available, the remaining squad, and but he's made it through.
Yeah, well, here Lee Clough has made life very difficult for himself. He overdrew that. Really needed to be as straight as possible on this red. He's got to get the cue ball back over to the same side of the table that it's resting at now. But this is a tall order to knock this red in. Well, unless it passes this yellow, it may go by this yellow into the corner pocket. Well, I guarantee that wasn't the intended pocket for that red, but he'll accept it. And a long, difficult 8.
I don't think you get any tougher shots than this, Jim. This, you know, all right, he's got the pocket in sight, but tough cueing.
Not yet. Nothing easy about that one. Oh, the pressure.
Get the balls in play.
Carrying a country on your shoulders. Big chance for Ireland. They know it.
Yeah, and the Irish players there, they found the voices. The shouts of encouragement for Shane O'Hara. No great change in the English expressions there. They know it's still early days in this final.
And Shane isn't under as much pressure here, where that 8 is finished. Had it dropped over a pocket somewhere, would have been under the cush a little more.
One good thing about this young man, he exudes confidence. You know, he is, say, still a young player in his international career, but he's so confident. And if Ireland now needed somebody to step up to the plate and put a frame on the board, this is the player who can do that.
Well, all the yellows are available. It's just got to zone in and try and forget that the cameras are there. And it looks like he's actually getting comfortable out there. He's just keeping his eyes on the table and looking at every option, and he's looking quite comfortable.
Well, the Irish team like it. They like the position their man's in right now.
Yeah, it's just Steve Dempsey there on the right, who's just talking to Alan McBennett.
Seconds.
The yellow closest to the 8 certainly will afford nice position. Should he decide to leave that last. Also the yellow nearest the bottom right. Just depends on how he wants to go about his work here, but he's got so many options.
So he's just pointing with his cue there. I think he wants to leave the cue ball, checking that he leaves an angle in that yellow into the top right hand corner to get down, as you say, for these last 2 yellows.
Back arm looked pretty steady there. You look for that little quiver in that back arm. Looked pretty solid.
It's quite interesting to watch Shane play, because when we played him in our minor round games, he's got so much energy. You can see him moving back and forth, and his eyes are darting everywhere. He's always patting down the cloth and cleaning the chalk marks off. It's almost like a nervous energy, but it's just interesting to watch, but he's doing so much without actually doing anything.
So he's channeling that nervous energy into keeping himself focused.
Not straightforward. He'd like to have been a little straighter on this yellow, because stopping it dead would have afforded the perfect angle on the other yellow, and he's not straight.
He's got a slight angle there, but he's just got to check this off the top rail, where, you know, playing with a bit of top left-hand side, just to keep the white coming in a direct path up the table. Just got to be a little bit higher than the yellow is now.
30 seconds.
Well, Sean, the way he was cueing at that, it looks like he wanted to come the other side of the yellow.
I was just thinking that, Jim, when he got down the first time. Yeah, he's going to come across the table and take the yellow into the same corner pocket. That's not what he wanted, because not only has he not got position on this yellow, or not got a decent position on this yellow, he's actually bumped that black a little bit closer to the corner pocket.
What a difference had he gotten straight on that second last yellow. Would have been so easy, but you talked about that nervous energy, Alec, and you know, as calm as he might have looked, or at least that back arm might have looked, I think he's showing us that he was fighting it a bit inside. Well, he's going to have to come with a shot here. Now, does he put all his eggs in one basket and go full throttle at this yellow, play position to that 8? Anxious moments for them.
Yes, Sandy.
Great effort. Oh, great shot. He knows it, and so do they. What a time to pull out a pressure pot. Shane O'Hara. And the easiest of 8s. And it's a 1-1 score. The missed 8 from Lee Clough. Pivotal. O'Hara cleans up. Frame number 3. And you don't call on Ghostbusters here. You call on the reigning world champion. 1-1. Gareth Potts to try and stake England back to a 1-frame lead. Needs a ball off the break here. And a nice split. Left-handed world champion. What a force. And down. Great chance here. Patrick Morehouse. 66. Better than a 66% winning percentage. A very capable player.
You'd think, looking at that table, that reds would be the colour to be looking to go for here, Alec. There's that little cluster of reds there, bottom right, which covering the yellows, so he's just trying to find an opening pot, though.
Well, I can't see him finishing, Sean. So, yeah, most certainly take the reds and have some control. But if you're going to finish the frame, then you've got to take the yellows, I suppose.
Yellow ball's in play.
When the captains set out their team order, they don't know what the other side is putting out. So it's really a raffle as to who you're going to oppose. But I'll wager that for Morehouse here, he really didn't like having to see that Gareth Potts was the name that was opposite him.
Yeah, as I said earlier in the commentary, that Patrick's one of the newer young players that's come through into this Ireland squad.
30 seconds.
And so he's probably certainly not got any experience at this stages of these World Championships. Whether he's appeared maybe something more local in Ireland. Fantastic shot though there, before he's potted the yellow and developed the other yellow out.
Jim, just a question. Which past world champion would you prefer to play?
Well, I'd rather play one that isn't the reigning world champion if I had my choice. I mean, it is such a, we've said at the outset, such a tall order. I mean, England has been so dominant. 16th year of this event, 11 titles in the team event. Every year they come here as big favorites. And every year they are the team to beat, and more times than not, they're the ones lifting the hardware on the final day.
Well, Sean, how well has Patrick done this? He's really given himself the opportunity to finish here, and he's done it from nowhere, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was that one good yellow into the bottom right. I say, he's developed the other yellow out that was in there. He's developed that out, and now he's just given himself a fantastic opportunity to take Ireland into an early lead. I think, as we said at the top of the programme, that if Ireland are going to win this, they've got to get a lead early and put some pressure on those England players.
30 seconds.
It looks like that 8 may pass into the bottom right corner. Looks very close. If it doesn't, he's still got 2 pockets at half, the right center, bottom left.
I don't think that really matters, Jim. He's got. He's just going to roll this yellow into the middle and take the yellow on the left-hand rail up into the corner and have an angle just nicely to bounce off the right-hand rail and put the black in the bottom left-hand corner. So
this is really the big shot coming right here, Alec.
this is the one. It's just got a soft screw. This, he doesn't want to bash it into the pocket. It's just got to control the white, and you know, it should just drift nicely off the rail and have a nice stun up for the black off that last yellow that we can see there.
Yeah, and if you look at this Ireland lineup, they've certainly put a couple of the
30 seconds.
big guns up at the beginning, and some experience at the back end of the order.
That was the ball. That was the one he needed.
Ball's in
You
play.
can see the pace that he put into that, Jim. He's overscrewed the white. He's got straight on that last yellow. If it had gone in, he's hit it far too hard. If he probably hit it half as hard, it might still have gone in. It's just that you can't force these balls into the holes.
Well, the problem for Gareth, those 2 reds near the bottom right, they have to develop those. The remaining 5 all nicely positioned.
Well, you'd have to say that's another opportunity missed by Ireland
30
there. I mean, you're only going to count your opportunities on one hand probably, and to lose them, to miss them like that, it just doesn't look great.
And it doesn't put you in good stead for the future either. You really need to try and establish a little bit of confidence even within yourself.
Looks like Gareth's looking at a bit of safety here.
Yeah,
Maybe.
just wondering if he's looking at trying to hide the cue ball behind these 2 reds. He was pointing with his cue there.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Superb shot there from Gareth Potts. As you suggested, Alec, that cue ball now hidden behind those 2 reds, looking to extract the 2 visits. That would almost certainly secure the frame.
I don't think he's concerned with with getting the extra visit, Sean. He just wants to open them 2 reds and really put the pressure on. Gareth, he's just won another visit to the table, and that should be enough for him. You know, there's no balls that are tough there, and
30 seconds.
he's quietly confident there,
Joel
getting
Snooker.
ready to finish the frame off. But of course, a bit of luck goes a long way if he can maybe escape this snooker off one cushion, maybe hit the yellow on the right hand side there, maybe get it over that bottom right hand corner.
Almost knocked it in. But he's given Gareth the chance now to finish up here. Frame number 3.
Yeah, great effort there from Patrick Morehouse. Desperately unlucky. Quick look up at the clock there from Gareth. He's just concerned maybe when he got down that the
30 seconds.
timekeeper would be calling 30 seconds, and we just heard that call.
A little surprise there.
Just interesting there about what we said about the timekeeper. I know at one time the Australian players seemed to always seem to be waiting for the 30-second call before they played. Is that something you actually think about before you go out there, or is it just something you're conscious of when you get to the table and think, I'll just wait for the 30-second call and then I'm going to get down and play?
No, I don't. No, I don't think the Australians are waiting for the call. I think the conditions or the shots that's required, depending on what we need, it's. I don't know. No, Sean, I'm a bit bemused about that.
I wasn't suggesting it was just the Australians. I know a few years ago when I first started coming to these championships, so it seemed to be some of the Australian players did do that. I don't know. I say it's not just them, but we've seen other players as well, particularly look up at the clock, and they'll just wait for the 30-second call and then get down and play. So suggesting it was more from a player's point of view, not just an Australia's point of view.
Well, in the rules for the umpire, the umpires must call a 30-second call. You know, it must be said. So you know, if the player's down on the shot and they're right in their vinegar stroke, the umpire comes up with 30 seconds. Well, you know, that's so maybe they're just considering that.
Well, right now the only thing that Gareth Potts is considering is how quickly to mop up, get England back in front. My score sheet says Patrick Morehouse, and he's got his. Thank you. And Patrick, with that one opportunity at the yellow that he missed, a few shots back, I think he's going to pay the ultimate price here. Look of resignation. Play the plant. He wants to leave this other red right over that pocket. Oh, beautifully played.
Yeah, see clearly, felt like it's quite easy for that first red to get away once it's made the contact and just drop into an unpottable position. Nice control there from Gareth Potts.
Yeah, no, great shot. But the main shot part about that shot was getting the white right for the other second last red. So it just makes the whole finish a whole lot easier. And believe me, nothing's easy out there on the grand final.
How's that for cue ball? Once he got the opportunity, took full advantage. The reigning world champion Gareth Potts takes England to a 2-1 advantage over Ireland. And looks like another left-hander for Ireland.
Trailing 2 frames to 1.
From the center of the table, he needs a good split. He's got to keep Ireland right on the heels of England. Ball down.
He had some luck there because that cue ball was tracking into the top right-hand corner pocket as we look there. Another object ball's come away, kicked it away from that pocket. So the first order of the business has been done.
Ball's in play.
He's made a ball.
And he's nominated red, so he's got an opportunity here. So we can mark this down as another opportunity for Ireland. All the balls are available, so it's just a matter if he can make position.
You see Shane O'Hara there just explained to Steve Dempsey the way that David should be taking this finish out. Steve's maybe questioning Shane's strategy, but I'm sure David McQuillan will know which way he wants to go about this finish.
Well, interesting point. Young Adam Davis, he's 21 years of age now, was 20 last year representing England, and he didn't know what it was like to taste defeat. He won both his frames in the final. Well, that's something that David is going to try and put right as far as Ireland's concerned.
30 seconds.
I just wonder, has he tried to come down for that bottom ball there, Alec? And just maybe get that one out of the way and he just work his way around the three that are close together.
No, I don't think so, Sean. I think he's gone a little bit too far. I was looking at possibly playing on the red nearest to the centre pocket. If he had the white somewhere around the middle of the table where the blue spot would be, he could just run into that yellow on the side rail and then link one of the reds back up to the other centre pocket.
30 seconds.
He's just gone a little bit too far. I think he's going to have to draw the white ball back out and maybe put either a red back into the centre or the left-hand red into the bottom corner. So he has options.
It looks like he's taking the first option you suggested there.
Yep.
The problem is he's going to be running into that red here, Alec.
No, he can just roll this through and maybe just nick off the yellow on the side rail and put the other red into the other centre pocket and then stun down for the red into the bottom left-hand corner. So it all links. He's just got to judge pace. I mean, if he hits it too hard, he could probably put the red up in the top left-hand corner. So and that's where he's looking now, where he needs to be. So he's on the same plan as me, I think.
He's played it to the corner pocket. He'll have to draw this back. But he's looking very tidy here. He's following the order of reds, though, Alec, that you suggested. And he's got to play this one into that top corner. Draw the cue ball back, leave himself a nice angle on that red, and Adam Davis may not even get out of his chair in this one.
30 seconds.
Superb shot there. 'Cause one dangerous thing about that shot is just that little bit of adrenaline rush and a little bit too much pace on that, and could have left himself very awkward, but that's just about spot on there for David McQuillan.
When you're nervous, it's pretty easy to just twitch that back wrist, you know, a little bit of a jerky motion, and not that I've ever experienced that, you understand.
30 seconds.
Well, you see, the problem with that is, Jim, you've got to keep them loose at the back. You know, people tend to grab their cue too tight, and any twitch in the wrist creates the problem through to the hand and then through to the cue. So.
Exactly, Alec. That's what the practice is for. And what a clearance. What a timely clearance for David here. David McQuillan. Just a quick look at the scoring clock, but this is no problem whatsoever. A confident Vizek, and back to level scoring. 2-2 in the race to 8.
England to break. 2 frames all.
2-2. Chris Melling needs a good split here and get England back in front. Beautiful control of that white, but no friends at the table. A
Open
chance
table
for Ireland. But as far as controlling that cue ball, dead center of the table, picture perfect. They don't look too terribly concerned just yet, but give Ireland another frame or two and you'll see some worry on those faces.
Yeah, and it's Declan Huff at the table for Ireland here. He's certainly to me, he's the lesser known of the
30
twins.
seconds.
And obviously you will have seen some of them this week, Alex. So do you know much about Declan's game?
No, I'm afraid not. I don't recall. I mean, he's there, he's in the Ireland team, he's done the work, he's qualified, so I'm sure he's quite capable.
Red ball's in play.
Well, the Reds are open. A gilt-edged opportunity here, and when you can secure back-to-back frame wins over players like Adam Davis and possibly Chris Melling here, that's going to put Ireland in very good stead. Long ways to go for Declan, but they're there.
Thirty seconds.
There was some shouting and some partying back in 2006, I'll tell you, when Ireland won the title. I don't know if the bar will ever be the same.
I'm sure if Ireland were to lift this crown again, 2008, the parties would be starting all over.
Don't jump the gun too quick, guys. A long way to go in this match.
30 seconds.
Well, I think we just like the look of the underdog here, Jim, don't we?
I'm just talking about 2006, Alec.
Well, this is looking pretty good now. He's got a nice angle there to get to the red on the bottom rail, and he's played this well, played it very well. And you can start to see the confident strut. It's looking a bit easier, and you can see the finish line.
Well, that's one thing. I think for a team to be successful, they have to play and think as one, and they have to build on each other's momentum. I mean, they're going to suffer with each miss together as a team, and you know they'll have spent a lot of time together discussing strategies, but they really do have to play in one mind. It has to be on the same page.
He may have gone a bit short with that, Jim. Make the shot a little bit harder. He's going to have to play this a little bit firmer to get the white up for the red in the centre pocket.
Just means he's going to have to be a little more accurate with this pot. Anytime you play one of these at pace, it's got to be struck very accurately. He's going to have to hit this a little harder. Thump it, get the cue ball back up towards the middle.
Seconds.
I think he's actually looking at maybe putting the red up in the top left-hand corner, and that would then mean he doesn't have to get the white ball as far up the table. No, he's played it very well, given it a lot of power.
Yeah, not ideal, though.
Far too far. This is getting tougher now, Jim.
Yeah, the red that poses the problem is the one just below the cue ball as we look from our overhead. He's got the other red into the right center, but where does he manufacture the angles to drop onto the last?
Well, he has got an angle. He's going to have to stun this into the centre pocket and come off the bottom rail. But the harder you hit these balls, then obviously the more chance of jumping out of these pockets. And you've got to be more accurate, like we just said.
Yeah, and the natural tendency to play a shot like this, Alec, is also to play it with a lot of bottom and left-hand spin, so he's got to avoid hitting these yellows. And the black. Well, that was always going to be a problem.
Time out.
I think Chris Mellon will just be taking a little bit more notice now.
Time running.
Probably just straightening the chair a little bit, waiting for his chance to come to the table.
Always easy to say afterwards, but you know, as Chris looks on, I think he has to feel like he's going to get a great chance in this one. But it was shot selection for me that, you know, Declan, I think if he had it to do over again, he might have gone a different path.
30 seconds.
Well, maybe the option that I suggested, just getting the white off the back rail and getting a shot up into the top corner, might have been a better option. Just to, you know, a shot is better than no shot. But he's played a good shot there. He's only given Chris.
Yellow ball's in play.
keeps the pressure on.
And it's not an easy finish here that he's left Chris Melling. 2 balls on the left-hand side of the table.
Well, I think Chris's first pot is going to be the problem. He obviously would like to get the first pot and maybe get a little snooker somewhere, but his first visit's not an easy shot.
Opting for the plant just because it afforded the safety should he not get it. But what a cueist Melling is. Well, you're going to see the snooker now, though. He's just going to dawdle up to this yellow.
I don't think that's what he was playing for, though.
Well, I think he might try to just flick that yellow away from the black.
Yeah, that's a feature of Chris's game. It's not very often you'll see him play snooker. I think what he was probably, as Alec was alluding to, was trying to maybe even flick that yellow that he's finished very close to there. Going to flick that off the rail. And because at the top end of the table he's got the plant on. So that makes that an easier shot now for that yellow.
Unless he was trying to drop onto that yellow, but if he was trying to develop it, he would have played it even harder than he did. The cue ball had no pace by the time it got to that side of the table.
Either way, he's still locked him up.
In complete control. I mean, this one is really Melling's to win or lose. And now he's got 2 visits.
Foul.
And if this yellow passes the black into the center pocket, you've got to feel the worst for Declan Huff.
Chris has got down very quickly. Yeah, he feels it does go. Proves the point. I think you'll see Chris Melling make very short work of this finish now.
He makes it look easy, but I tell you, it's not easy out there. He's got a beautiful action, Chris.
Snooker professional as well, Alec, and a larger surface. You know, you really do have to be sound fundamentally, and as you said, Melling silky smooth. Overhit that, but bear in mind he's still got his second visit. Though he still may not need it. Beautiful finish for Melling. Again, keeping England just in front and momentum in their chair. 3-2 over Ireland. (3-2) to England, frame number 6. Best of 15, first team to 8. And a dry break.
Open table.
At least a chance for Kendall to try and establish England in this one.
I think he's going to be looking at yellows here. If he can get through to that one into the bottom middle pocket. Both suits are out in the open. So it's really just a personal preference here for Lee Kendall.
30 seconds.
Yellow ball's in play.
With the yellows. Really a big chance here for Lee. He's knocked this in. That yellow nearest the top left corner passes. He's got a tricky one down to the bottom left. But if he gets it,
seconds.
well, one more shot and the hard work will have been done.
Yeah, great shot there from Lee Kendall. He wasn't quite in ideal position. He's just used the red there, Alec, hasn't he? Just to hold position.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic shot because it wasn't just basic rolling. He's had to, judge the pace with the white off the red, which has given him a nice straight shot on that yellow there. And again, he's going to have to use that red just to softly screw off the red on the rail there and get the white down here a lot easier.
Just a quick question. The next
30 seconds.
S-M-Y-T-H, is that Smythe? Thank you.
He's played that perfect, and the pace looks good. He's on the yellow either into the corner or into the middle pocket. Looks like he might take the yellow into the corner, which links the two yellows. He sees going around there now to have a look and put it into the bottom left-hand corner. So, looking pretty good here again.
Just never gets easy with this side. They've had a couple chances, a few opportunities to really keep England under pressure, and when they've let those go,
30 seconds.
the English juggernaut builds steam.
Got a nice angle now on this yellow into the left-hand middle to draw back. As you say, Alec, take those two yellows into the other bottom corner pocket.
I actually think Sean, he's got too much angle. He's going to run into the black here. He may now have to choose. Oh, he can't play the cannon. I'm just looking, maybe playing the yellow onto the yellow into the corner, but he's got the wrong angle on that one into the middle.
30 seconds.
Again, he's gone a little bit too far. So he's going to have to take this yellow into the bottom corner again.
And again, the same speed, just off one cushion this time. And that's assuming he can't play the yellow into the center and use the black to hold position. Looks like he's just got a little too much angle to play that shot. So you can play this off one cushion now. Doesn't have to play with that red near the bottom left. Oh, he elected to go around it anyway, but well done, Lee Kendall.
That's absolutely perfect now. He run this through and put the black into the bottom corner.
Thank you. Great performance here from Lee Kendall. All it took was a dry break from Ireland, and the first service break looks like falling to England. Still needs this 8. And the back and forth volleying stops. Kendall takes England to a 2-frame lead. 4-2 now over Ireland. Well, both of these two just around a 70% winning percentage in the team event. So pretty handy. He's got the wrong cue. There's so many cues back there, he's grabbed the wrong one. All the England side, they've got all their cues, and they all look the same. Well, he can have a little fun about that and give him a chance to settle in and relax. Gareth Hibbett, frame number 7.
Made a yellow, and he's made a red as well. So he's
Red
made
and
a
yellow
choice
ball spotted.
here. Just look at the spin on that spotted cue ball.
Well, one thing I do know is that Gareth is a very aggressive player, and when you look at the reds there, he's got the tough red next to the black, and I would say that he will try and finish from here. It's not easy, obviously, but
Red ball's in
I know
play.
that he loves to have a go. And with the team
30
being
seconds.
4-2 up, he's got that little bit of room to move.
The comfort zone, Alec.
That's the one.
Now the telling factor here, if Gareth can get this red, that duly accomplished. The red nearest the black, does it pass to the bottom right corner?
Sure,
Overhead doesn't
really
offer any
tell us, no.
any
Whether it
conclusions.
just sneaks past that yellow or not.
I'd take the punt and I'd say it passes. But
No.
he might choose to knock it out here by the look of it. He's got a nice angle here on this red in the into the centre pocket.
Well, there you can see clearly it doesn't go. So that's
Wrong
gonna
again.
well there you go. It goes now.
Beautiful shot.
Good shot there from Gareth Hibbett.
It's going to be slightly awkward here. He's going to have to stretch the full length of the table.
Well, you know what? If he can see that long red to the top right, Doesn't have to do anything with the white. He can stop it. He's going to have the angle on the red to the right center to track down for the last red. So this will be his choice if he can see it.
No, I don't like that, Jim. I think he's got to get the rest out and play the shot into the bottom left-hand, bottom corner. I wouldn't be playing this.
Probably, if he listened to me, he should have listened to you.
I don't agree. I think you've got to play the right way and you've got to take the right balls when they're there. And if it means getting the rest out, well, you've got to play it. And you know, these guys, they know how to use the rest. He shouldn't have been avoiding that.
Yeah, and you know what? He threw his cue at that as well, Alec, and a sign of...
He spent no time over the ball.
Yeah, a nervous action, to be sure. Derek Smith, what an opportunity here. Boy, if Ireland can get back to 4-3. And at least they'll keep the heat on England.
Yeah, because the other thing, what he could have done is left Derek parked in his chair for this first half of the match. You know, he's going to have to come out in the second half, and he might not even have been to the table. So, great opportunity, as you say, for Ireland to get back in this game.
He's looking pretty good here. He's just going to have to roll this yellow in and get to the yellow under the black. No, he's going to take that one. Oh, okay. Well, that's nothing wrong with that either.
Well, that was a superb shot. He just seemed to get down and cue that straight in. No sign of any nerves whatsoever.
And now he can flick the black just towards the center of the table and drop on the other yellow to the same pocket he's playing this.
Yes, sir. Come on, Derek.
Or if he so chooses, he could roll that other one into the center. Oh, has he got it there? Yeah, that was the first little bit of nervy action. He got down, he barely pulled the cue back at all. He shot that one very quick. No danger whatsoever. Derek Smith, come on down. A much-needed frame for Ireland. They're only one in arrears now. It's 4-3 to England.
Welcome back to Blackpool and the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. We're at the break in the men's team event between the defending champions England and Ireland. It's 4-3 at the moment, Keith Brewer, and you suspected it would be a tight match. It's turning out to be that way.
I think the team finals are always kind of renowned for being very close matches, and I think we always knew that Ireland were going to give a good account of themselves, so it's no shock to see it only at 4-3.
Now the tactics changed a little bit here because the managers can bring the reserves in, and that's what England have done. Ian Hubbard's come into the lineup, and for Ireland it's Alan McBennett who's joined, but it's Ian going first for England, Alan McBennett last.
Yeah, this is a chance for the teams maybe to shuffle up the pack a little bit. They've decided that they're going to put Ian on the opening frame. They've got the 4-3 lead, so that's probably a good move. But Ireland have put theirs in on their anchor leg, so they obviously want to win this match before the last frame.
OK, and a prediction?
Well, I think from what I've seen so far, you know, I know Ireland have had one or two chances, but I think with the players that England have got, I can English win today.
We shall see. Let's go back to the action right now.
8th frame. Ireland to break, trailing 4 frames to 3.
4-3 to England, but Stephen Dempsey just wants our official to have another look. The customary handshake and just retighten that rack again. Ian Hubbard, the reserve for England now. We go into the revolving order and the reserves have to be brought in, and interesting, England put their reserve out first, Ireland at the back end, so Ireland certainly doesn't want this to go all the way to the wire. 4-3 to England. Dempsey with a successful break.
Yeah, interesting point on them reserves, Jim. As we say, viewers, if you remember last year's final, both Wales and England put the reserve in at the end. Wales captain Wayne Smith told me that he didn't think the game was going to go that far, so it wasn't going to matter. But unfortunately for Wales it did, and we all know what happened from there. Neil Davey secured the title for England.
Hit the last ball, the reserve. Wasn't that something? But as Ireland look on right now, their order is virtually unchanged apart from the reserve going at the back end. So, I mean, England has mixed it up a little bit, altered their order. But only time will tell.
I think what you'll find is England have looked at the order and changed it around slightly because they know who's going to be breaking in the second session.
Red ball's in play.
So they've given the break to the people that they would see as their strong players for breaking finishes.
And Alec, that was a useful little flick, white on the red, to leave Stephen nicely on this red to the center.
Yeah, that was a tough shot that he's played there. To judge that off the side rail where the ball's sort of 4 inches out from the corner, that was a very good shot. And obviously giving him a chance to at least control the frame. He's got the red into the middle there, obviously, and whether he considers to break into the other two reds next to the black, which will then give him shots for the two reds into the centre. But again, angle, and he didn't have angle on that, so I don't know where he's going with that.
Just wonder if that red that's just to the right of the black there passes into the bottom left-hand corner as we look on the overhead.
Yeah, I think it does. It looks like it does.
Stephen never really had a great opportunity in his opening frame. Blitzed by Jason Twist. He gets a chance to get his eye in now, and he wants to make use of it.
30 seconds.
Yellow ball's in play.
Bad miss.
I think he's got a little bit lucky there, where the red come up and knocked the yellow next to the two reds there. It just made it a little bit more difficult for Lee to finish, but he's got plenty of balls there to knock it on and knock him around. So, sorry, Ian. I'm sorry, Ian Hubbard's the man.
Certainly what Ian Hubbard needed now to get his hand on the table. I say, it'd been most unfortunate if he'd have been parked in his chair for the duration of this frame and just got up again to shake Steve Dempsey's hand, but now gives us an opportunity to see how he can perform in that main arena. He's just overcut that a little bit there, Alex.
Yeah, I can't really see the finish here. Yeah, everything sort of only just goes. It's very tough. He's I don't know what his plan is.
Alec, you were saying earlier that Australia sent their best side ever to compete in this year's event.
Yeah, we thought we had a team strong enough to make the finals and give it a good shake, but I really still haven't worked out what happened, Jim. I think I found the finish here, Jim. He's got the yellow into the top right-hand corner, which is just next to the two reds together. And there you see he's gone around to look to the yellow into the other centre pocket. So he's just got to basically soft screw this into the red or stun the slow in here. Yellow into the other centre. Then the yellow next to the black into the corner. He's going to leave him a nice little angle for the last yellow closest to our camera.
Big shot right here, though.
30 seconds.
That's the one.
Oh, what a strike.
Made it perfect.
Look at the look of concentration on his face, too. Intensity.
Just talking about our best team that we thought we brought over, it really opened my eyes just how much stronger it's getting over here. The competition level, the players are just so much stronger.
Like everything else in the world, better and younger.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. We're all getting older, but I honestly thought we had the youth and experience. Most of our players have been here 2 or 3 times before, and we just did not click on that one day, which put us out of the finals.
But that's really a chance that Ian's going to take, Sean. You've got to feel that he fancies this. He's in an ideal position. He can just bump this in and off the cushion and back out for the yellow above the black.
Yeah, I mean,
seconds.
Ian's no stranger to the big stage. He's been down at the national finals in Great Yarmouth, you know, interleague finals. I know this is. I think he was in the squad last year for the England team that won the championship. So he's certainly been here and done it before. And it's looking like the gamble of putting him out first in this second half is paying off here.
Yeah, what a visit for Ian Hubbard. The reserve, he sat and watched the first round, and to come out and play like this, the one chance he was given, a half chance at best. Solid as a rock.
You know, when you're reserve, Jim, you've got to prove to the captain that you're the man that should be out there, and he's doing that right now.
And then some. Ian Hubbard, it's your time to shine. Takes England 5-3 in front, and the high fives again. England into the comfort zone. Now Jason Twist representing England, Shane O'Hara. And it's going to be Jason Twist with the break. A good break here will be painful to watch for Ireland. 5-3 to England.
Come on, Shane. Come on, Shane. Come on, Shane.
Open table.
Oh, no prizes for guessing which color he's going to be selecting here. Guaranteed he'll be taking yellows here.
Yeah, it's just what Ireland needed here.
30 seconds.
Shane came up with a good clearance in the first half of this match. He's looking very, very focused, very calm.
Well, speaking of calm, it looks like Lee Kendall could use a pillow.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, he looks on there with the England manager Rob Uzel. Nick Roberts, one of the other England squad members. Been at these championships this week.
Shane exhibited a lot of what you call nervous energy in his opening match, Alec, and he still got the job done.
30 seconds.
Secured a valuable point against Lee Clough.
He's carrying it on here, Jim. He's giving himself a real good opportunity to finish the frame here.
You see there, Irish supporters in the crowd. The Shamrock. Sat just behind our timekeeper there, Roxanne Barty as well. He just heard the 30-second call. So Shane's just taking his time a little bit. Say that nervous energy coming out. Just wiping a little bit of chalk from the cloth. Just setting himself.
Good recovery. The Reds are pretty inviting too. So certainly Shane has to be on guard here. You saw what happened in the last frame. It was just one miss from Dempsey. That was all it took. And at this level, especially when you're opposing a guy who's got 2 world titles under his belt, Jason Twist, you know that one mistake will be costly. And what a great feeling it is when you secure a point and you go back to your seat and the high fives and the mini celebration. Great feeling.
You just got to get the right position on the cue ball here, Alec, after this next shot to make sure leaves himself on that red. Just to the left of the red that's near the black spot. You see, he's just pointing with his cue where he would like to leave the cue ball. So he can just run through for that other ball into the top left as we look.
Seconds.
Yeah, it just depends on where he can get to with the cue ball here. He may have to get below this red. No, apparently not. So this yellow afforded, and the natural angle, he can just run this through, and he's going to drop onto the last one. Taking plenty of time
30
again.
seconds.
Little table maintenance. Again, this is all part of the routine, just to settle into the shot.
Yes, Sam. Come on, Sam.
Now I'd almost see him drawing this back to play the 8 to the same pocket, because I don't believe it goes to the center.
Jim, I don't know about that. You could be tempted just to roll that in and have a dead straight black into an open pocket up the other end. The angle on that there could just cause trouble. You know, I don't think it's straight enough to go right back. I think he's got to be looking at putting it straight up into that other corner, the diagonal corner.
30 seconds.
I think that's exactly what he's just eyed up right now. Just roll this in and leave the long straight black bottom right as we look from our overhead. Because that black does not pass into the middle. Keep it simple, Alec. That's the key.
That's the one. When the pressure's on, you just want to have a shot rather than no shot. Just, you know, keep your head down and stay down over the shot. And it really should look at that nice open pocket there, straight in his line, vision. So you would think this would be in, Jim.
I know, a quick look at Jason Twist with his head down. He thinks it's in. Never got a chance to get out of his chair.
30 seconds.
Second point in a row for Shane O'Hara. He's keeping Ireland hopes alive. 5-4 to England. It'll be Adam Davis next against Patrick Moorhouse.
10th frame. Ireland to break. Trailing 5 frames to 4.
I mean, at 5-4, it's a race to 8, remember, best of 15. And they're coming down the home stretch.
Open table.
A nice split there from Patrick, but no friends at the table, so he's given England and Adam Davis a chance now to come to the table to restore that 2-frame cushion.
Boy, Ireland really has to make a statement here. We've already noted that they've brought their reserve in at the very end, Alan McBennett. And the way this is working out,
Seconds.
if Ireland just kind of volleys frames back and forth with England and it goes to a decider, how do you fancy putting your reserve out to play it?
Well, if your reserve's as good as Ian Hubbard, you'll be all right. He came out and played like a genius, so who knows what they got in store.
Yeah, but to be fair, Alec, that was at 4-3 up, not at 7 frames all in the World Team Final.
Fair call.
That was a good opening shot there from Adam.
Isn't it amazing how one good shot can just open up the table? And Adam here looking pretty good already. Just after one shot, all the balls, all the yellows, you can see they're just all affordable and well, just pretty basic.
Yeah, he's got those 3 yellows just to the left of the, right of the left-hand middle pocket. He's probably going to be looking, those are the last 3 balls he's going to take, so he can just, all his work's going to be one small area. Doesn't have to take the cue ball any distance whatsoever. Just take these 2 yellows out here first.
Lost his first frame against David McQuillan. So he'll be very eager to get his name on the right-hand side of the score sheet and contribute a point to England's cause. And certainly Patrick, sitting in his chair, is praying for an opportunity to get out of it.
That shot there was the important shot. He's got on his yellow there next to the red. He'll just roll that in, have a little shot into the centre pocket there, and then take the other yellow across into the other middle pocket and roll down for the black. So by him getting dead straight on his yellow, it's just automatic roll-ins now. There we go, it's beautiful.
Shot selection, we talk about it so often, but you can make your work look so easy when you're selecting the right shot. As you've said, Alec, it's just all straightforward. Connect the dots.
Well, that's right. People say that, geez, you make it look easy. Well, it's not about, it's about white ball placement and getting the white ball where you need it. And, yeah, all your shots are very easy, but the trick is controlling that white ball.
Superb yellow there from Adam Davis. A simple 8.
6-4 to England. They're only 2 away from their 12th world crown. Good performance from young Adam Davis there.
England to break, leading 6 frames to 4.
Frame number 11. 6-4 to England. Gareth with the break. No gravity.
Open table.
Just see what Gareth thinks of that. Can't believe it. The greatest split in the world there. There's 2 or 3 clusters of balls. See at the top there. This bottom of the screen there's a couple of yellows there. I think yellows are probably the ball here, Alec. He's got the one that's blocking the bottom left-hand corner pocket.
30
Yeah,
seconds.
that's the only thing that's sort of making you want to play the yellows. That really, I mean, you can maybe look at doubling one of the yellows back into this centre pocket where he's potting this one. He's cleared that red. That's a good shot there.
Yellow ball's in
but
play.
Unfortunately, he's just lost the white ball a little bit and doesn't leave him a double on one of them yellows, just to even to get them out and promote them. Because obviously there's a couple of reds there that are going to make it tough for Gareth.
And the golden boy there of English 8-ball pool sits and waits for a chance to come back to the table. Will David McQuillan afford him that opportunity?
Well, you might be looking at the double right now and develop the other yellow.
Yeah, if he gets half a result with that, this could be a tidy finish. Still a very difficult double when you're cutting back like that. The spin that transfers onto the yellow ball just makes it a little bit more difficult to play the shot.
30 seconds.
Developed the yellows nicely, missed the
Red ball's in
double.
play.
And not only that, he's freed up that pocket, the bottom right-hand pocket that he did have covered.
So all of a sudden now, Gareth's only got the one tough red on the side rail next to the yellow near the centre pocket, and he's got a couple of reds that he could use to break that open. So Gareth, you know, from nowhere, all of a sudden has got an opportunity to get back in the frame. He hasn't done a thing, and he's got a chance.
One of the best players in the world consistently. He's the reigning world champion. But at every event during the Pro Tour, he's the #1 ranked player. And they always check to see where his name is in the draw, but team events are not about individual performances. Cumulatively, yes, but you really have to gel. A lot about camaraderie and allowing that friendship and the support to alleviate the pressure.
30 seconds.
And I've seen many, many good singles stars not be able to do anything in team events.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest examples of that is Tiger Woods for the Ryder Cup.
Perfect example.
Superb individual player, but just doesn't quite seem to gel with the rest of the team at time. But certainly these two teams here tonight have gelled this week, fought the way through to the final of this Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships.
And I bring that fact up because even though it might look like this should be a foregone conclusion, it's far from that. I mean, this is one frame. And in a match over a best of 17, best of 19, of course Gareth would be big favorite, but one frame, anything can happen.
And David's tried to develop those two yellows there, Alec. He's got one of them out, but there's one still there.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. I don't think that yellow will go inside the red, but even if it does, he's got to play a good shot to get back onto that. So he may just have to choose to cut that yellow up to the other end of the table and try and cover the other pocket and just try and keep some pressure on Gareth here. If he misses this and that red is left in that corner, that would just make it so much easier for Gareth. And he's opened up the tough red up the side there. Well, turn things around very quickly.
It's almost like every time he departs the table, David, he's leaving Gareth in a more promising position than before he got out of his chair. And he still stands. Trying to send a little message to Gareth Potts. That was a useful shot. He's dropped onto the red. So I was going to say, Sean, once again in his mind, Gareth is just settling himself into the order with which he wants to attack these reds.
Yeah, he was just checking his position. What was the point I was going to make there, Jim? You say absolutely perfect where he was pointing, where he wanted that cue ball. Great, he's got to do nothing with the cue ball here now. This shot, just stun it and stop it where it is. He's got the red bottom right. He just needs one good positional shot to get back on that red up the table, Alec, here.
Well, I think he's got to take that red now. I would have been playing to get on that red first, and then take the other red into the bottom left-hand corner and just stun in for the red, you know, between the two yellows. But I feel if he takes the bottom left-hand red now,
30 seconds.
then he's got to play an extra special shot to pot the ball over the hole and get the white out between the two yellows. So he's got to take this shot now. Yeah, this is the way he should have been looking at it the first time. He's played that perfect pace too. He's got a nice straight shot there, and he gets the gap for the red over the hole.
And it will be just about avoiding on the yellow. Just get the cue ball back out for the 8.
Would you not just run through this, Jim, with a little bit left-hand side off the side rail and come up for the black?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got two choices. Certainly that would be option one. The other one, he could even just try and draw back.
Yeah.
Just hit it dead on, and he's going to leave himself a longer 8 than he would have liked. Again, this is just one of those shots. It's personal preference.
He'll get this white ball right on the break line.
Oh, he's
dropped short, but it's still.
He's halfway.
Yeah.
He was trying to get that back out to play that 8 to the center pocket.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, most certainly.
Well, that was risky business.
Well, I don't know. He had the whole table, the whole half a table, and he's on that black, and he's just hit it so short.
Oh, what a shot he's left himself with here, and all or nothing.
Potential big turning
30
point in this
seconds.
match. Gareth secures this frame. It's 7-4. Just one frame away from victory. Going for the thin cut here.
Attempted the double. Would you believe it? And we're staring 7-4 right in the face, and just one poor positional shot from Gareth Potts has brought David to the table. And I mean, remember, David never ever sat down. He was standing there, fully expected this chance to arrive. Now is he equal to it?
30 seconds.
It's not an easy finish here for David McQuillan. One awkward yellow just above the left-hand middle pocket. Do you think he's going to puff this yellow across the table and try and leave that yellow up to top left-hand corner pocket here, Alec?
I'm not sure. I think if I was playing this, I would probably try and get on the yellow now. That's on the side rail. Spot this with either, with the top and get back over to that side. But I'm not sure what he's looking at here.
30 seconds.
I definitely wouldn't be taking the yellow next to the black next. Okay.
That's good, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Well, that's made it a little bit difficult just to get the run through and get a nice straight shot on the yellow.
Yeah, is that black in the path of following through?
Actually, no, the angle might be all right, but he's going to be low. He's going to have a nice, well, he's going to have a long shot. It won't be nice at all. He may have to choose the option of a safety, Jim. Maybe chip off the yellow and get the white around and get the snooker behind the yellow next to the black. I mean, you don't have to go game every shot, do you?
30
You
seconds.
can just chip off the right-hand side of that yellow near the side rail, get the white back around here. It leaves Gareth no shot. Hit it a bit soft.
Yeah,
but,
he might have left him a chance here.
Yeah.
He might be able to see this. I don't know whether he can make it to the top left, but he can certainly cut it into the other corner pocket. And boy, that was a careless mistake from David. He really shouldn't have let him see this at all.
Well, we talk about shot selection, and I feel he's played the right shot, but unfortunately he just hasn't played it as well as he could.
30 seconds.
Doesn't seem too bothered, does he?
Not much he can do from the side there, Jim.
I'm not sure Gareth can even see enough of this to make it in the other corner.
I may look at the double and get the white up on this top rail here, just to get a bit of safety. All right.
What shot! Could he see enough? You bet he could. David McQuillan brought Gareth Potts to one time too many. And England now one frame away from their 12th title. 7-4.
12th frame. Allen to break.
The handshake, and Lee Clough
Showing
looking
some
to
friends
close
to
it
follow.
out for England. And another title. Declan standing in his way.
Made a yellow.
Yellow ball potted. Red ball's nominated.
He surveyed the table, opted that he's going to take reds. What you can do in this game, if you pot a ball on the break, you can then nominate the other colour, providing you pot that colour, you're on them.
Declan had the onslaught from Chris Melling in the opening round.
30 seconds.
So he has
Red
not
ball's in
offered
play.
any support to the Irish side as far as the scoreboard is concerned. Lee Clough also in that same position. So one of these two will take their first point of this final.
Yellow ball's in play.
I feel he might have just been trying to cover that pocket. I don't think he was going for the pot, but he's not covered it. So Lee Clough now comes to the table with a chance to secure that title for England.
And he has not covered that pocket, but Lee's got a yellow over in the left-hand side. Well, two actually that are in awkward positions. That's the bad news. The good news
30
is
seconds.
he's got a yellow to start.
And I think he's left himself an angle there. And that yellow into the top middle pocket to get into those two yellows. And just disturb that little area and hopefully free up those yellows. And on playing that, he's probably still got the insurance ball of the ball into the bottom right hand corner.
Just wants to be sure, but he's definitely got that angle, Sean.
Well, that's not worked out anything like Lee Clough would have liked. Just bump that red, just that little bit closer to the yellow there. We can just see in shot on the bottom right hand corner. Just made that pot more difficult now. And didn't develop those two yellows. To be honest, he's still in the driving seat in this frame, Jim.
Captain Lee Kendall looking on.
30 seconds.
Going to be very proud of his troops to this point anyway.
Yeah, nice shot there from Lee Clough. Was what he's done is just developed that awkward yellow along the rail and left that now in a potting position, obviously. As I say, he's now just needs to do a little bit more work when he comes back to the table at these two yellows. Declan's just looking there where he can squeeze that red down past those two yellows, Alec.
Well, he's looking to play the red off the side rail, then off the yellow. Now, I don't think I'd be trying that. I think I'd just try and cover the pocket. You don't want to open them yellows up because Lee's actually in control of the frame at the moment. If you develop the yellow, then there may be an opportunity for Lee to finish the frame. So he's got one of them out, but well, he's sort of got half a result. He's covered the pocket. He's knocked the other yellow next to the red, which Lee, which he's just looking at now to see if it passes. But I think just trying to control, get something over a pocket like Lee's done up the top there, would have been a better shot.
Alec, when these players are out there, is the captain allowed to converse? Is there any conversation allowed when the player's out there?
No, it's just left to the players out there. There's no...
So you can't offer any advice or...
No,
okay.
No, it's certainly not.
Yeah, nicely controlled shot there from Lee Clough. Just place that yellow, as you see, right in front of that red. Just trying to take control of that corner of the table. Because once he's done that, he can then look to develop that Yellow out on the left-hand side of the table.
Well, now to have a break at all, we need England to wrap it up here.
seconds.
Yeah, of course.
He's knocked the yellow in.
Read the pocket, it's a foul. And what a chance now for England to get themselves over the finish line.
I think he was just trying to get that red down there. He certainly wasn't intending to knock the yellow in. He's just trying to put that red in the mix, if you like, and just try and tie it up a little bit, Alec.
Yeah, I think the degree of difficulty was far too hard. I did see a different shot there, and it did involve giving 2 shots, but not like that. I was, considering maybe he could have knocked the red onto the yellow, maybe potted the yellow over the corner, and put the yellow on the other side of the red, and then maybe Lee would have 2 safe yellows. But the shot was difficult.
So time moving on.
Second visit.
Straight away, he's wasted one of his visits, but both of those yellows now, bottom end of the table, potable positions. He just needs one good positional shot here. The yellow in the top left.
Yeah, he's played that well. Just to, sometimes it's easier to waste your first shot, get all the balls out into play, and then take them out one at a time. Yeah, just down to 1 shot here.
He's just hampered here. His bridge hand is
30 seconds.
going to be over that red just to make things a little more tricky for Lee. It's a good thing he's tall. I think he'll take the yellow bottom right now. It was a good effort.
That's perfect positioning, that.
I thought he might have played from the yellow that he dislodged. I thought he'd play into that area to attack that yellow to the bottom right first, knowing that that red, yellow over the top corner was always going to be there for him as an outlet. Just cannon into the red after making this.
30 seconds.
Yeah, absolute perfect here. And now,
in about a minute's time, Sean, it'll be over.
Yeah, the local man from Blackpool, Lee Clough. Looks like he's going to be securing the title here for England in this year's Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships team event. And this simple 8-ball now, Jim.
Just the sort you'd like. Listen for the applause. England once again reigns supreme here in Blackpool. A convincing 8-4 victory and a little vigor in those high fives this time. Lee Clough seals the deal for England. Captain Lee Kendall delighted. England 8-4 over Ireland and the world team champions.
So that really was a very impressive performance from England. Keith Brewer still with me here in the studio. We'll hear from Keith in just a moment. But right now what we're going to do is go to the presentation. They're just about ready. I think it's quick stuff here. Here is our MC, Scott Gallagher.
Ladies and gentlemen, please at this time welcome onto the floor your presentation party. Tournament Director Alan Benton, and from Scottish and Newcastle, UK, Richard Sullock. And ladies and gents, please a big round of applause for your 2008 champions, England!
So it's well done to England, 8-4 the winning margin in the end. And Keith, you suspected it would be a win for England, but maybe not as comfortably as that.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by the margin, I have to admit. And I think Ireland will rue the missed chances earlier in the match.
Yeah, and overall, were you disappointed with the way Ireland played? I don't know. England seemed to dominate when they needed to.
No, I think it was a case that England were just the better team, and like I said, if Ireland maybe could have just pinched one or two of the earlier frames and put England under a bit of pressure, maybe it would have been different, but I think England are worthy winners today.
So job done, well done to them. They can have a break and we'll get on with the rest of the tournament, eh?
We're back next year to give it another go, I'm sure.
That's 2 in a row now, isn't it? Anyway, thanks very much indeed for that, Keith. There we are, that's it for this time. Next up, it's the ladies' final, but for the moment, from all of us here, it's goodbye.